welcome to Garden Time with Serdar ARAPOİTLU. My name's Sue Ghazi and today we're here with Serdar at the Mediterranean Garden Centre. Hi Serdar.
Hello, welcome. Yeah. Welcome our garden centre.
Yeah, it's looking absolutely fabulous, I must say. So colourful with such a lot of variety, aren't there?
Yes. As you know, we are beginning of the autumn at the moment and the season is changing and the lots of flowers is changing from the garden. So we must be ready for the autumn. So this is what it is.
Yeah, I think today we're actually going to talk about preparing our garden for autumn. So yes. I know that Serdar is going to give us some good hints and tips.
Yes. Well, it's been very hot weather, summertime, and of course it was very dry and less water. It was no water at all. So of course we going to do lots of things at the moment in the garden because I'm sure most of the garden at the moment in the mess. So first of all, we have to straight away take the summer season flower outside because at the moment must be they dry or they are yellow, they don't look nice. So straight away we take them out. And all the summertime, I'm sure you have lots of weeds in the garden, summer weeds we call them.
I'm sure we have, yes.
So we clean them up and we have to dig in the soil and aerate in the soil before we put all these plants.
That's actually quite an important thing to do, isn't it? To aerate the soil and get the oxygen to the roots.
Yes, it's very important. So we have to clean it to make it ready for the autumn flower plants ready for it. Of course, there is sickness there is some kind of the bugs and everything. Most of them we can trim, we can cut them off to take them away. So after taking them away, always we have to spray. Because without cutting, if you're trying to spray it, we are spraying which is the sum of the branches. We're already going to take it out later on.
Yeah, and I think also maybe it's important to actually burn those diseased branches as well, isn't it? To try and get rid of the diseases.
It is because if you leave them in the middle, of course, you're given the chance to maybe your neighbor or maybe your other plant to catch them, which is not healthy. It's best things to burn them, to disappear them, is the best things to do. And spraying, we have to find which kind of the sickness you have exactly there, then spraying. If it's mealybugs, mealybugs. If it's some kind of the bugs. If it's the fungus. Especially at the moment, the soil worms a lot around. So we have to spray it from the soil area, from the worms, the soil worms, or if we have the boxes on the top, you have to spray it on the top. So this is, first of all, you have to get advice about the specialist. We can always help about this Mediterranean Garden Center. Yeah. Then you make the decision what you're going to do, right decision, and then do it.
Yeah, because I mean it's pointless just spraying with anything, isn't it? You've got to know exactly what it is.
It is, and you have to use the right chemical for it as well. And of course, feeding is the best time at the moment for feeding. If you want to make sure the winter time you're gonna have very healthy plant, we have to do the azote, potassium. If there is some calcium, magnesium on the roses, we have to look after them. This is the very right time to be feeding for the roses as well, of course. And again, if the roses branches is going too high, we can always drop them down a little bit. This kind of the maintenance, this kind of the feeding is gonna make your plants to be stronger on the frost winter time.
Yeah. It's actually preparing them for these colder months, isn't it? So they've just got that extra, that extra strength to get them through the winter.
Yeah. They need energy at the moment to be ready for the winter. Otherwise, they're not strong, they're not healthy, and of course, first frost is just gonna burn them, or another things, first wind. They're not strong, they will come down. And of course, we have to protect them as well. If there is some plant which is is soft but is gone long. Maybe we can trim it a little bit and we can put some stake to make the sure is strong. To don't forget in the future time the wings on the way is coming, so we have to make them for the ready for the wing as well.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, we do get very strong winds here from time to time, and of course to prevent damage to the plants, if you stake them, if you tie them up there, they're going to be protected.
Yeah, otherwise later on you will say, because sometimes we don't want to, you see the flowers and you don't want to cut them, you say no, I don't want to do this, but later you lose the plant. Yeah. Or you lose the most of the branches, which is worse, of course.
So you might as well do that maintenance even though there are flowers to cut.
Yes, if it's necessary, if you need, because it's overgrowing, but you have no choice, you have to cut some branches. You're gonna cut the branches, of course, and of course I'm sure at the moment most of them later is gonna drop the leaves, and the leaves is gonna start to change in the color. So if you're not going to do it now, later they're gonna drop the leaves anyway.
So you might as well save yourself a job.
Yes, it's better to protect them. Yes, and on the lawn we have some jobs to do. Of course, feeding again. August time, always the lawn area getting very big damage because it's the time to eggs is open and all the worms out. You can see most butterflies on the top. Always, most of the time, August time. So after August damages, especially if you have a Australian kikiu grass, most of them at the moment is very bad situation.
Yes, I've noticed that actually. A lot of the grass is quite brown, isn't it? It looks quite dry.
Yeah, because it's attack from the worms, and after fungus, of course, is this time is the very worst time. So before winter time, because later Australian kikiu is gonna go to sleep, because there is a period which is the Australian kikiu grass winter time, their sleeping time. So before that this is the last chance to give them to feeding, because little bit later the feeding you're gonna give them, it doesn't make sense because the grass is going to be sleep.
Right. Okay.
So it's very right time to doing the last spraying and the feeding together.
Yeah. Well, that's a good idea that you can actually do those two jobs in one, isn't it?
It's one, yeah. And of course, little bit short, you can cut them at the moment because it's not hot anymore, so quite cold. So you can start to cut it short, and just after this, give the spray and feeding.
Would you aerate the lawns as well at this time, or you would leave that till spring?
You can do little bit, but it's not necessary. Most of the time, after February, you can do, because of the February you have to first of all cut it very short, and after aerating you can lay down the good soil on the top to cover it all the grass, and then you can make the grass younger. That time is better.
Okay, then thanks for that.
You're welcome. So now let's talk a little bit color.
Yeah, this is amazing, this color, isn't it? And especially at this time of year.
Yes, always season changing is exciting, isn't it? Because of course we have lots of choice on the summer, beginning of the summer, but I always like the autumn plants as well, because it's different, and you know that autumn plants is most colorful.
They're extremely colourful, aren't they? And when you're choosing your plants for autumn and winter, of course, if you've got a dark patch in the garden, of course, you can liven them up with some of these colourful plants.
Yes, you can do that. And of course, the way they look, they shine, and the color is more darker. You can there is more choices, the color you can choose. Of course, this is important. Always the autumn plants flowers, the flower is bigger, and after all dry, this is important as well. After all dry days, all of a sudden you just see in front of you the colorful flowers. You like them.
It's amazing, isn't it? So, which ones are the easiest to grow here, Serdar? Which ones would you recommend maybe for beginners?
Well, we can start very on the top one, Pirmula, very in the front one. The Pirmula is the right time at the moment to plant them. It's easy to look after them. You know, in the Europe, you can see them on the street as well. Yes. They always plant them.
Yeah, they're very colourful and they last a long time.
They are, and it's very easy to look after them as well, Pirmulas. They come very different color as well. And what it is, in this country, they don't choose them much because being a lazy gardener.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I'm talking about generally. We like to plant plants in the garden, and we want to forget about them. Which is the autumn plants is not like that. Autumn plants, you have to plant them, and you have to always look after them. You always find the yellow ones and the sickness one on the bottom, and clean them up, and then protect them, and then make sure you always look after them. This is important. So we can plant this kind of the Pirmulas because they last long, and they are very nice.
Yeah, they come in such a big selection of colours as well, don't they?
They are, and it's good you always plant them like a group, and especially if you plant the tall plants in front of it, they look nice.
And of course, I noticed that you've got a lot of chrysanthemums here, and they're very popular as well, aren't they? Very colourful.
We have chrysanthemum, and they are very popular. The chrysanthemum this country, we choose them a lot because they're colourful, they last long, they're okay for hot weather, they're okay for cold weather, and we like them. We like chrysanthemum because the always is being chosen in the Cyprus chrysanthemum. Chrysanthemum, of course, there is a bigger heads as well. Those ones is nice as well. They come a double and single color flower as well. Another things, they don't get very easy sickness chrysanthemum. They are strong plant.
Yeah, and that's useful as well, isn't it, to have those kind of plants in the garden?
Yeah, because we looked at. We always like to have the plants strong and not much time to spend for it, not much effort to spare it, and of course to be strong and healthy is always better. Yes.
And so do these chrysanthemum plants, are they going to grow much taller than this, or is this about the size that they grow to?
No, they can go a little bit longer. Of course, this one is the bush ones, but there is a tall ones as well. There is very long ones as well, and there is irrigated plant one as well, of course, and they come single, they come big flower, they come two color together. Yeah. Lots of different choices with the chrysanthemum, of course.
And of course, then you've got the camellias there. Now they've got beautiful scent, haven't they?
Yeah, these ones we have here. They gardenia. Gardenia. Yes, yes. Gardenia. Of course, they have very nice scents. They like shade area, and they like acidic soil. Of course, when you vitamin them as well, if you don't have acidic soil area, or you don't get chance, you can always, when you're feeding them, you can choose the acidic feeding, is same thing. And as long as you're regularly giving the acidic feeding for the gardenia, they give you lots of flower all the time, and they look healthy, green, and nice.
And of course their scent is absolutely wonderful, isn't it?
That's the most popular one about the gardenia. Yes. They are very nice scents, and they always attack to nice butterflies and everything, because they like a nice gorgeous flower.
Yes. And then I notice, of course, you've got some small roses here.
Yes, roses. These ones is the bush ones. Bush roses, what is nice about the bush roses, they settle down and they stay bush, but they cover big areas, and they give like 50, 60 flowers together.
As many as that from one plant?
Yeah, one plant. So it's nice about them because they have nice scents as well. And when you look to there, it's just straight away, it's covering very quite large area they cover in, and although you just look straight away, all you see the roses heads, and they last long. The heads is last long, It's nice. Of course, they come different color, and is good. It's good to keep them in the garden. It's nice plant.
Well, it's unusual for us actually to see roses out at this time of year. You know, they've usually sort of died and we've cut them back in Europe.
Yes, they are. But with the you know, this is from the, especially for, they coming from the greenhouses, and the outside situation is not here. Otherwise, these heads will be burned, of course, on the very hot time. But this time of the year, they start to settle down now, and they look nice. And of course, we will talk about the cyclamen.
Beautiful as well, aren't they?
These ones, we have two different here. And these one, big head, and they have bigger leaves and bigger flower. And these cyclamens, I like them as well.
Yeah, they're quite cute, aren't they?
Yeah. Because why always choosing them on my decorated as well? You can always plant on the back this and the front this. They look nice, and you have to just leave this space for them. And as much space you just leave them, they settle down. Mostly they don't choose them cyclamen, but there is lots of cyclamen lovers here. What is nice about them, you just keep it the area for them. You look after the area, and next season they coming back. So,
And the leaves are very beautiful as well, aren't they?
yeah, the leaves is looking nice, and especially cyclamens, the rain time is look nice. When they get wet, they look such a nice. So cyclamens is easy to look after it. It's just that you need to always find the fungus, because sometimes the fungus lives in the middle, and the yellow ones, you just clean them up. Maybe I can find one. Yes, there is one here. Look, these ones always just need to come out. That's all. And of course, the dry flower ones, you can always clean them up.
Yeah, you just deadhead them.
Just take them out, and that's it. They never get any sickness, cyclamens. It's only apart from fungus, of course. And the bugs or other things, they don't attack them either. They strong leaves. They can come in nice group plants as well, and it's nice to choose them in your garden. I suggest to you. And of course, we have lilium here. This is the.
I could smell before.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful scent, isn't it?
Is the one of my favorite lilium. It's nice to have some more scents in the garden, of course. Lilium, again, summertime you can always see them. They just get lost, but they can always springtime come back. And liliums, when they coming back, they come in with the flower. This is the nice about it. Straight away you just look in the flower blooming first, and then the leaves come in later. So of course this is quite different, and always I've been like it. We have African herder here. They're nice. They are indoors, of course, but if you have some balconies or anything like that, and you want to plant them on the pots, they look nice as well. They come in different flowers as well, and is only be careful to not to give them to water for the leaves. So when you watering them, either you can just take the leaves out or just put inside, or if it's the small pot, you can just drop it in the bucket and water it that way.
Right, so the roots will take up the water. That's the best way, maybe, is it?
Roots take it from the water under the bottom. Why we trying to not to give the leaves water? Because they always change in the color, and they keep the soil inside a lot. And if there's some climbs or anything, they look later very dirty, or they look ugly. So it's better to watch out the leaves. This is the way to look after them. We have here, in here, hebe, of course. Hebe this time of the year and springtime, of course, you can have it in your garden. This is the flower they open in. The leaves quite strong, and they flower a lot. They settle down and flower in everywhere. You can always have it outside. For too much sun is no good idea, but not for shade. Just half day sun is okay for them. They are nice plant, and you can choose it in your garden as well. Is nice color and different.
I mean, the advantage of these plants is that they've got beautiful foliage and they've got very pretty flowers as well.
Yeah, I like always irrigated leaves. I like it. So this is one of the reasons I'm very interested in that. And of course we have Kalluna here. They very nice. The autumn time you can have it in your garden as well. This is the flower actually, and this is the leaves. Leaves is green. Yeah.
Yes, I think we know this as heather, don't we?
Yeah, yeah. And of course these ones, when you look them very well, look after them, it's just only dangerous for them. They don't like too much winds, of course. But if you have such a shade area which is not getting too much winds, they stay long time without water. They okay, and they don't like too much sun. So is the autumn plants not under the sun? Summertime we don't suggest that, of course. They kind of the time plants you can choose them autumn time in your garden. All winter they can stay in the garden, and even the springtime until the May you can always keep this garden very nicely.
Yeah, they're very pretty, and they spread a little bit as well, don't they?
They are spread, and then.
Oh, that's an unusual plant.
Yeah, this is Medinella. They have such a different flower. Yes, they come this color and they come black also.
What you've got black variations as well.
Black flower, yeah, and of course they grow quite nice. They look tropical, yes, they do, and the leaves is nice, strong. They can stay under the sun, is no problem, and of course either on the ground or in the pot you can always keep them. They're quite nice and looking flower.
Yeah, they're very unusual. It's always nice to try something different, isn't it, Serdar?
That's me.
And also I noticed that you've got a good selection of bulbs as well, haven't you?
Yes.
We've got freesias. Now they're always very colourful, and they've also got a beautiful scent.
They are, yeah. We can always choose them because they're okay for the Mediterranean countries, these ones. We have lots of different ones.
Yeah, so you've got narcissus. Now there's a good range of colours of those as well. They're always very, very popular.
Those ones, mostly we use them in the pots, of course. But we can always arrange them for the flower beds as well. We can keep them in the flowers. All we need to do, end of the season, you can always take the bulbs and keep them some safe area, which is if you want to use them next season. So at least few seasons you can use them. Later, if you keep them quite a certificate area, is only in the meantime the flowers start to getting smaller. Apart from that, is always you can use them. All the bulbs you can use them always.
And I notice you've got ranunculus as well.
Yes, this is one of my favorite. It's very easy to plant them. They look small. They like octopods, you know.
They are like an octopus, aren't they? They're very strange.
Yes, and it's important to always plant them right way, because sometimes they put them wrong way around and they never come back.
Which is the right way, Serdar?
Which is the right way is you can always see the roots on the bottom. So these ones like this is on the head, on the top, and as you can see, is coming root from there.
Oh, so it's the opposite way I would have thought.
Yes, exactly.
And also you have tulips. Again, a very good selection of colours there.
Yeah, tulips. Always I like the tulips. The black ones is very nice, but these ones, yeah, these ones is the yellow, and we have mixed color here. They can come different, lots of different color they can come, of course.
And again, we've got another scented bulb here, and that's the hyacinth.
Yeah, mostly we use the mixed color one, but we don't have the mixed color at the moment. This is the last is left, at least we can show it on the program. It's good to plant them as well. They're very nice as well, yes.
Yeah, so the hyacinths are always a good choice for the garden, aren't they, Serdar?
They are very good choice. And again, we can choose the pops because we shouldn't worry about it that we just little short time they're gonna be in the garden. We always, I'm saying, we have to leave the season. If it's the summer, summer. If it's the autumn, autumn. So this is the always remind us the autumn and the winter we're going to have in the garden. So it's good choosing, yes.
Exactly, and it's always good to have plenty of colour in the garden as well, isn't it, with seasonal flowers?
It's nice. So we cannot do without them, of course.
And of course, I know it's quite some time off, but of course we got Christmas trees here as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we call this Araucaria, of course. And as we talk on the garden time, another program, it was the big tree we saw there. We saw the seeds as well. And we did arrange it. That's the one, yes.
This is the one from that big tree,
yes,
then?
That's the one, yes.
And did you grow this from seed, or you...?
These one, always they grow only from the seeds.
And they're very unusual. In fact, they're quite spiny, aren't they? Quite hard.
Yeah, they come because these ones, they are two different. One of them is for outside and one of them inside, of course. This one for outside. And they can come very big plant, very big tree. It's nice to have it in the garden, especially in front of the garden. And as we talked before, you can always arrange in the electric there when you plant it from the beginning, and you can have some lights for it.
Yeah, and they're going to be very spectacular in your garden, all lighted and decorated, aren't they?
Yeah, it's good because they look very nice. They look very nice, and especially when it get bigger, they're very nice plant.
Well, I think that's all we have time for this week. It's been a pleasure to come down to Mediterranean Garden Centre and have a look at all the plants. So why not pop down here and see what Serdar and the team have to offer for you?
Yes, they're always very welcome to just at least to see and have some bottle of wine. Thank you very much. It's nice to have the program with you again. Nice to see you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and happy gardening. Bye-bye.